And I promise you we will have the latest if Montreal starts to burn to the ground a little later on this evening. Cars flipped over, whatever we need to do, we'll be on top of it. But for the next few minutes, I want to introduce you to somebody. Now, I don't understand the appeal of this show. I'm going to be completely upfront with you.
Well, I mean, if you could make out in a hot tub with like 30 girls, would you be interested?
I would probably be divorced very quickly.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? I didn't understand the appeal of the show at first either, but I slowly got addicted like the other 12 million Americans, so.
Let me tell you who we're talking to tonight. Jillian Harris is here. She's from the 2009 Series 5 of The Bachelorette.
Absolutely, that's me.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem at all. It's a popular program. This is one of those reality shows that seems to have withstood the test of time, and it's only growing in the excitement. Every woman I talk to is talking about The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, depending on which season we're in.
Totally.
So tell me what the appeal is to the person watching at home.
I think it's just watching human nature react.
Yeah.
And, you know, we all know that relationships are insane.
Sure.
And they're crazy. And then you kind of, it's almost like Navy goggles. You know, you put a bunch of guys in the ship and then all of a sudden there's one girl and you just start obsessing. It's watching all of those personalities sort of unfold and react, and it's just human nature. I think people are sort of obsessed with it, and they love reality because they can either relate to themselves or feel a lot better about themselves, one or the other.
Now, were you a fan of the show?
Yeah,
exactly. Living vicariously through TV is always fun, right?
Right.
Were you a fan of the show before you went on?
I made fun of the contestants just like everybody else did, and I had bachelorette parties and thought, oh my god, why is that girl doing this or why is she doing that? And I actually applied on the show because I thought I was going to give the girls a run for their money.
Yeah.
But it turns out that I was easily swayed into the hot tub scenes just as fast as the past girls. So.
So you're sitting
I'm
there.
not
Wait a
quite
minute.
as smart as I thought I was.
Wait a minute. You're sitting there. You're making fun of people at home. You're talking to all your girlfriends like, who's stupid enough to get in the hot tub with these guys? And then the second you get there, you're just right in there, bikini. You're all set to go in the hot tub.
Pretty much.
How does that happen? Is it the cameras?
No, you know what? It was a fun experience, and actually, I think of all. And I'm assuming you didn't watch the show.
I probably have it somewhere on my PVR saved, but
I
it wasn't
actually,
for me.
I think I was pretty tame. You know, I was pretty tame. But you just sort of realize life is short and you have fun, and you know, it's a somewhat controlled environment, and you just decide to roll with it and have a good time. I certainly don't have any regrets.
Now, is this a case of you were on one of the first shows and then you got brought back? Is that how that worked?
Exactly. I was on The Bachelor.
Because this is the confusing thing, I think, for guys.
Yeah.
Because somebody always comes back from the year's previous show as The Bachelorette.
It's sort of an unwritten rule. It's not exactly the way it works, but
this all started with this Trista lady, doesn't it?
It
Is
all
that her
started
name?
with Trista, yeah.
How am I doing so far?
Yeah, you're doing great.
Yeah.
I call her the godmother of Bachelorette, so I call her Granny Trista. She really loves that. Yeah.
So you decided, I guess you got voted off the first show. Is that how that works? You didn't get a rose.
Right at the very end, I didn't get a rose.
Oh wow.
I was brokenhearted, Ryan.
That's gotta feel pretty bad.
I was brokenhearted. I was devastated for about 24 hours.
Who? That's all it took. Now, who was the dude?
His name was Jason Mesnick, and we're still really good friends.
Now, did he end up hooking up with the girl that he chose over you?
I mean, this is a long story, but he basically chose somebody, and then in the end, a couple weeks later, decided he wanted to be with the runner-up. I was the second runner-up.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it gets really complicated. You really should watch the show. It's very interesting.
I need some sort of guidebook to get me through this whole thing.
Yeah, you'd love it.
Now, you came back, though. Why would you come back after that kind of humiliation and embarrassment? That's horrible.
Have you ever seen, you know, in The Simpsons when Homer is, like, wanting to say one thing and he actually says the other?
Yeah.
I really thought to myself, I shouldn't do this, but I couldn't turn it down. I wanted to say no, and I said yes, and I am so glad I did. I mean, I've had so many great opportunities from, you know, getting my career back on track as a designer, being on the chair of, like, great charity organizations that I love. I'm here for craft, and we'll talk about that later. But I've just had some incredible opportunities, and my life has totally changed, all for the positive. So,
this is the Bachelorette Jillian Harris. Now, I understand you're also getting married.
I am also getting married.
Now, is this you're getting married to somebody who you met on the show?
Exactly.
Okay, so this does work out eventually.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
So, who's this dude?
His name is Ed. He is just like a Midwest kind of guy. Reminds me of an Albertan. Like, he's tons of fun, loves to, you know, have a good time, loves sports. We're a lot alike. So, yeah.
Okay, how do you know, though? How many guys
I didn't know that at the time.
How many guys were vying for your affection?
30.
30 dudes?
30 dudes.
That must feel kind of cool.
It was awesome.
I'd be okay with that.
It was good.
So what are they doing to try to woo you?
They're doing lots of really weird things. That's the thing I liked about Ed, is he pretty much just did nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
He just kind of was laid back, just
yeah,
whatever
but he was
happens,
just a cool guy. He was just a guy. He wasn't into reading me poems or
Yeah.
making me paper airplanes or anything like that. He just was a real dude.
Did that happen? People were making paper airplanes? Because
Yeah.
that's lame.
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't give that guy a roast
Yeah.
right off first week.
I think everybody listening knows who made me the paper airplane too. So it's kind of an inside joke between me and the listeners, not so much me and you.
That's okay. I feel I'm left out on this show most of the time.
Okay.
Although it's my name on the billboard for it.
Right.
So finally whittled down to how many guys? 2 guys at the end? Is this
2 guys at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you know right away that Ed was the guy?
At the very end, yes, I did. Actually, towards
you
the end.
had some feelings for the other dude.
I did. Oh yeah, I loved like 5 guys in the end. Not like love, like, but I was crazy about them.
Okay, how romantic? I'm gonna have to ask. This
It's not that
question.
romantic.
Are you able to get romantically involved with these people on the show?
Yeah, but I mean, I think now's the time to steer this conversation in another direction.
No, but people
yeah,
wonder
I
that.
mean, for sure. Yeah, there is a level of that, but that's where you use your own. I mean, as for me as a woman, and maybe a guy is different, but for me, I just do things a little bit differently, and you just. You respect yourself, and you just you know at that point who you really like.
Because it's easy to forget that the cameras are there, though.
No, it's not for me. Well,
Not
for
at
me
all.
it wasn't. Yeah, no. I was always a little bit awkward knowing that they were there.
Because we've heard some stories over the last little while. Now, I did watch this. This is the one part of The
Okay.
Bachelor that you know what I'm going to ask you about, don't you?
Okay.
This whole big confrontation that happened with, who's the host? Chris Harrison?
Mm.
Is that the guy's name? There was
Yeah.
a big controversy about him and this other girl who was sleeping with the producer
Yeah.
of the show.
I mean, that's just her opinion. I don't think she
Yeah.
really had much. I know that producer's ex-wife. I don't think Chris would hit on her.
No? Is this Chris Harrison guy the type that would hit
No.
him? No? Okay.
No,
What
he's a good guy.
did you think when you saw her, though? Because she doesn't seem like the nicest person.
Well, at this point, because I've been through it, I've learned, because I've been through all of this, to judge less. And to just enjoy it for what it is, and that it's a fun reality show that's supposed to get your mind off of your own hectic life. So I don't really form too much of an opinion. She's definitely not my kind of girl. Her name was Rosalind.
Rosalind, yeah.
She's
I Googled her on
Did
the
you?
weekend,
Yeah.
actually.
She's not somebody that would be my network of friends, but I
Yeah.
personally had not met her, so I can't judge.
Okay.
I'm doing this new
That's
thing.
very fair and
No
diplomatic
judging
of
unless
you.
I have spent time with you.
I like that.
Yes.
Okay. This is Jillian Harris. She's from The Bachelorette, season 5.
Yes.
Let's talk. You're Canadian.
I'm Canadian.
What's it like being back home? I bet you haven't been here in a while.
I do come home quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as any proud Canadian probably knows, you can't leave home without wanting to come back. I come back
At
at
some
least
point,
once
yeah.
a month, once every maybe 2 months. But the reason why I'm back this time in Toronto is, I mean, this is just one of the many great opportunities I have. Kraft asked me to come and help them sort of launch this new product they have called Sizzling Salads. And because I'm so busy and I love to eat and I consider myself a foodie.
You love to eat.
I know.
Really?
Yeah, I know I'm only 100
You're so
pounds.
tiny.
Ask Ed. I eat twice as much as he does. So I was pumped for the opportunity.
Somebody get me Ed on the phone.
Yeah.
I don't buy that at all.
He calls me the little human garburator.
Really, because you just pack
I
it
just
away the
pound
groceries.
it back, yeah.
Interesting. We're
Yeah.
gonna get to the craft stuff in just a second. But
Okay.
when's the big date? People are emailing me, texting me. My Twitter board's going nuts. When's the big date? What's happening there?
Yeah. Well, I hate to kind of spoil this, but I don't have a date. We're doing things backwards.
You know what I say?
Yeah.
If you don't have a date, you're not actually getting married.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I say all the time. I tell all my single friends that. They say, "Oh, we're getting married soon. We're engaged. When's the
But
big wedding?"
what's the difference in having a date? How does that make things?
Commitment.
But
Commitment, Jillian.
But we're living together. I
You
make
know how
the
many
dude,
people live together?
I make the dude 3 sizzling salads a day.
That's not a bad start.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's going to leave town because he's got salads to come
Yeah,
home to and you to
right.
come home to, but you got to have a date.
We are working backwards right now, and I actually have been joking that we're going to let the tabloids decide when our wedding date is, because
Yeah.
they seem to be deciding everything else. But
Yeah, you're red hot in the tabloids.
yeah, right. We're planning. We have a lot of plans that are getting secured. And see, I didn't want to stress myself out with the date and then have to get all the stuff done before the date. I'd rather get the stuff done, and then when it's all ducks in a row, set the date.
All right. In a second, we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about what you're doing here.
Yeah.
We'll also talk a little bit about the tabloids because
Sounds
I want
great.
to see
I'd love
exactly.
to talk about that.
Well, you get to talk back tonight, which is kind of nice.
Right.
Jillian Harris is my guest. You know her as The Bachelorette. More with her in just a second as the Ryan Doyle Show continues.